Hey, what's going on, guys? Ace Trainer John here, and today we're going to be going over a guide on how to do the Warden of Nothing Strike on Grandmaster difficulty. But before we jump into this, I ask that if you want to keep up to date on all Destiny 2 news, information, leaks, tutorials, and more, hey, go and subscribe to my channel. Otherwise, let's jump into it. Now, just as a heads up, I'd like to note that tomorrow we'll be going over the Insight Terminus Strike on Grandmaster difficulty. On Thursday, we'll be going over the This Week at Bungie like we do every single week. Then on Friday, I'll be giving a guide on how to do Guardian games, as well as my thoughts briefly at the end of that video. So if you're new to my channel and you're interested in any of that content, I recommend subscribing. Otherwise, let's actually jump into it. So like always, let's go ahead and talk about the loadouts first. So starting off with champions, there's going to be all three. You're going to need Overload, Unstoppable, and Anti-Barrier. In terms of elemental shields, I think there's only a couple of void shields. However, at the very end, I think there's a yellow bar Cabal with a solar shield. But if you end up doing the cheese that I'm going to show at the end of the video, then you're not going to need solar. With that being said, for subclasses, I think you can get away with pretty much anything. However, if you're not going to do the cheese, then I recommend actually bringing a Bubble Titan and maybe a Well of Radiance Warlock, as well as a Stasis Hunter, Stasis Warlock, or a Bottom Tree Night Stalker Hunter. But double middle tree Sentinel Titans with Ursa Furiosas also works. Now when it comes to actual weapons to use, our team had a Well of Radiance Warlock with Phoenix Protocol. And then for weapons, I was running a Kinetic Pulse Rifle, the Divinity, and a Cluster Bomb Rocket. Then we also had a Ursa Furiosa Sentinel Middle Tree Titan that was using a Kinetic Sniper, a Solar Hand Cannon, and Anarchy. And then lastly, we had a Shadebinder Warlock that was using a Kinetic Sniper, a Void Bow, and Anarchy with the Aeon Soul Exotic Gauntlets. With the, I forget which sect it is, but it's the one that allows you to finish champions or whatever to get heavy and special ammo. When it comes to armor mods, as always, I use a Protective Light build, which I go over in my Charged with Light video, which will be linked in the description down below, as well as using the respective ammo finders and anti-champion mods. But with our loadouts ready, let's go ahead and break down the different sections of the strike. So starting off with the spawn section, it's pretty simple. Just sit back and kill the Vex. Then next up you have the trains area. Again, pretty simple. Just avoid the train. Don't get hit by the train, and you should be good. And when you need to fight enemies, fight them from a distance. Also, fun gamer fact, when you get to the second trains part where it's divided by a giant wall in the middle, and there's two train tracks on both sides, you can actually go ahead and jump up on top of where the trains are going, and you won't get hit by the trains at all. I recommend just doing this. It's super easy to get up here, and you can easily kill the enemies from a distance. Then after that room, you'll be walking into the giant Vex room with the two trains constantly going through the first third and second third of the room. Be careful when you're entering this room because right at the front there's going to be two normal Vex Sniper Hobgoblins. And then up on the right on the little platform, as well as on the left on the platform, there's going to be two Anti-Barrier Hobgoblins, as well as a Vex Hydra in the middle. I recommend just clearing this room from right to left. Start off with that champion up on the right, kill the Hydra in the middle, and then kill the champion on the left. Then once you cleared out that middle section, you can actually move up, clear the next set of ads, and once you clear at least most of them, the giant Vex boss that spawns in, starts teleporting around, is going to come in. Again, just try and sit back, play it safe, and try and kill that boss as quickly as possible. Once you kill that boss, everything will begin to despawn, and then you can move on to the next section, which I'm going to call the Cabal Hallway. This section's pretty simple. Play like any other Grandmaster Nightfall. Just sit back and shoot everything from a distance. One important thing to note is that there is two unstoppable champions in here, so be aware of that. Once you clear this section, you'll go up the elevator into the Fallen Prison of Elders arena. I hope you're clenching your ass cheeks for this one, because this area is kinda rough, as well as the area after this. But yeah, once you go up the elevator, it'll essentially put you in the middle of a hellscape battle between the Vex and Cabal, and there's gonna be a ton of champions. I think there's 2 Vex barrier champions, 1 Vex overload champion, as well as a ton of enemies. Also in this arena, there's a bunch of explosive barrels and fallen slow mines, so watch out for that. But yeah, basically you just want to take out the overload champion and then the 2 barrier champions and then kill the rest of the ads. Just keep in mind that once you clear all the enemies, it will instantly put you into round 2 where you have to disable mines. Now, in order to prevent a immediate wipe from just being stupid, I recommend taking your time on the mines. Once mine A spawns in, B and C won't spawn in till you complete mine A. Another thing to note is with mine A, you have 1 minute to dismantle it, and the timer does stop once you're standing on it. With that being said, there's 2 champions I'm pretty sure that spawn in, a barrier champion and a unstoppable champion that both spawn in right away. I recommend using this minute that you have to quickly clear out these 2 champions, as well as some of the ads. Because once mine B and C spawn in, which again only spawn in after you clear mine A, and if you fail to do any of these mines, they will wipe you instantly. Anyways, they will spawn a overload minotaur as well as a yellow boss minotaur. So that's why I recommend within that first minute on bomb A, you try and take out the first 2 champions as well as some of the ads, because when B and C spawn in, there's going to be a bunch of ads as well as that yellow minotaur and the overload champion, which can kill you pretty fast. Anyways, once you dismantle all 3 mines, it will despawn all the ads and bring us into round 3, in which you have to kill a yellow bar Colossus Cabal. Also, a bunch of Cabal ads spawn in. In order to kill the boss super easily, I recommend just going where I am in the footage there, where I go to the left bottom side of the bridge down there, and so that way you can see the boss, but the boss can't hit you, which it should allow for an easy kill. You just gotta watch out for the ads. And once you kill the boss, it should despawn all the ads and allow you to enter the final part of Strike, which is the boss room. Now, when you enter this boss room, there's going to be an overload champion, a unstoppable champion, and 2 barrier champions. I recommend taking out the overload first, and then going for the unstoppable, and then going for the Cabal barrier champion, and lastly taking out the Vex barrier. But once you take out that last Vex barrier, it will spawn in the boss. Now, I don't think there's any champions that actually spawn during the boss fight, so you won't have to worry about that. However, during the boss fight, there is a bunch of Vex and Cabal that spawn in on both sides of the arena, as well as the boss continually keeps doing this thing where it sets the entire arena on fire, and if you're not standing in cover, that being a shadow, you'll get set on fire and can't really move out in the fire, otherwise you'll instantly die. Another thing to note, eventually at certain health gates on the boss, he'll spawn in a yellow bar Vex boss as well as a yellow bar Cabal boss. So this arena room's pretty rough because there's actually little to no cover as well. That's why I recommended the bubble. But yeah, if you're gonna do this the legit way, you're pretty much just gonna have to run around. However, you can also do it the cheese way, which you come over to where the boss spawns in, and you sort of jump off to the right. I know it looks like you're just going to jump off the edge into the nothingness of the abyss, but there's actually an invisible platform right there where my teammates stand in. As you can see, you just want to sort of hug the wall there to the right because there is an invisible platform, like I said. But yeah, that person is pretty much immune to the fire and pretty much everything else. They'll be able to sit there and just tag the boss with anarchy. I'm not sure if everyone could be down there or just one person. We didn't really try other people because I was unfamiliar with this cheese spot at the time. But yeah, that's pretty much the cheese and it makes it easy peasy. Anyways, this was Ace Trainer John. That's pretty much the guide for the strike, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.